podcast. This is going to be a nice short podcast of the 70s cartoon of Scooby-Doo where they meet Batman. Yes, this is like a two-part episode that emerged into one TV movie. I want to get it done. It's 82 minutes long. Let's get this done. This won't take very long. There's the eyes. Scooby and Shaggy. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, are you? Oh. I love that voice, Don Messick. May he rest in peace. Be Scooby-Doo, Scooby, Scooby-Doo. This is the 70s theme, not the 60s theme. Whoa! Yeah. The worst voice for Scooby is probably the voice in the two live-action movies that James Gunn wrote and Roger Gosnell did, because he doesn't sound like Scooby. It sounds like an Australian. There's Shaggy, there's Daphne, Fred, and Velma. There it is. The new Scooby-Doo movies. So this is a movie, not just an episode. Guest starring Batman and Robin. And this is not 2 hours long, so short and sweet. I miss you, Casey Kasem. We still have Frank Welker though. I love this cartoon. Again, Velma, kiss my ass. You are not Scooby-Doo. You took that IP, bastardized it, and made a bunch of dirty and sex jokes and gross out humor, and you call it and mean-spirited humor, and you call it a reboot. No, and you made Velma dark skinned for no reason. Velma was always white in the cartoon. She was never Asian or black or Hispanic or freaking Middle Eastern. No, she's white in the cartoon. Respect the source material. It's like making Scooby-Doo red. No, he's brown. He's a Great Dane and he's brown with spots in the original show. Yeah. I don't know why some people can't leave things alone. I'm not saying race swapping is a bad thing, but sometimes it doesn't work. Blade can't be a white guy. Sorry, he's black in the comics. This has a laugh track. These cartoons on Cartoon Network are classics, man. There's the Penguin and the Joker. Oh yeah. And they were in long Batman movies. The Joker was in The Dark Knight, and the Penguin was in The Batman. Or Batman Returns, if you want to count that. What was that? No, that's not Cesar Romero's voice. Why is Joker talking like he's from the 1940s? Yeah, this is one of the weirdest Joker voices I've ever heard in my life. Not the worst, because Leto honks like a goose. So, but this voice is weird. I talk like this, like I'm from 1942. Here's Batman and Robin. Yes, this is for kids, but yeah, that's Adam West and Burt Ward. I think that's Adam West. Yeah. Batman wears blue in this movie. I had to do something shorter. DC doesn't always have to be long, guys. Their animated stuff, a lot of it is short. This is so iconic, man. I didn't see this as a kid. I saw this when I was older. This aired in the 70s. I wasn't alive yet. Shaggy was voiced by an Arab American, but he could do a white collar voice, and it worked. He'd done the voice for years, and no one canceled him. So, like, that was cool. I miss Casey Kasem a lot, man. He's still the best Shaggy. Norville, whatever you want to call him. He is Shaggy. The second best is Matthew Lillard. Because Lillard, you know, embraced the voice. He was like the successor. And Velma's not a lesbian. She's not a lesbian. How dare you try to say, oh, she's nerdy, so she's a lesbian. No one's watching, again, because it's hot today. That's okay. It's for kids. It's not The Dark Knight Rises. I get it, guys. Look at those eyes. Creepy. There's a mystery machine. Yes, this animation is cheap, but again, they didn't have a big budget back in the 70s. But this cartoon is iconic. I see people dress up as these characters all the time at Comic-Con. Is that a crow or a raven? No, that doesn't. I live near a bunch of trees in this area, and there's no spirits in the trees. That's a legend. Trees are alive, but they don't have spirits. They're not humans. Not scary. This cartoon was never scary. Not until like the Zombie Island was kind of creepy, but that was in the 90s. In the 70s, yeah. There's no Scrappy here either. It's funny how Frank Welker's had the same voice for Fred since 1969. Yeah, exactly. These cartoons are just so special to me, man. That's why when they bastardize it, I get really upset about it. When they take a cartoon from my childhood and they make some bastardized version, it's nothing like it. It disrespects the franchise. Don't disrespect an IP, because the fans will notice and they will bury you. Look at Star Wars. Look at Marvel. Look at the DC movies. Look at these cartoons on Max and Disney Plus. Yeah, we don't want things that we beloved into these bastardized versions or darker versions that don't work. Batman and Scooby are two of the most legendary IPs in history, and they bastardized them way more than once. Because look at Velma and Daphne and Velma. That was bad. And then that Velma cartoon was horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. It's so bad, even Hack the Movies won't hack it. I'm like, it's not watchable. It's not funny. Vomiting and saying stupid jokes and winking at the camera is not funny when you don't do it right. Meta commentary works when it's actually written well, like in Deadpool. Or even Sonic 3. Yeah, a lot of these mask figures always weird. They make these weird cartoon voices. Yeah. Not scary. Look at my face. I'm unfazed. Also cut my hair. I had to. Because it's very hot today. It's going to go up to 94 degrees. Hell no, I'm not going to go outside in 94 degrees. This counts. It's DC, so it counts. See, this is cheap animation, but again, they didn't have big animation didn't happen until like the 90s when computers existed. And, of course, the 2000s. And once Avatar came out, everybody wanted to do animation like that. They use computer generated images even for animated films. And I'm a Joker with a big nose, see? Yeah. That's not Cesar Romero's voice. I know what he sounds like. I love cartoons. You can't say that because you're an adult you don't like watching cartoons. There's a lot of cartoons that are for adults, see? Look at Harley Quinn or Invincible. Animated and they're not for kids. Or Creature Commandos. Good God, that show was violent. Not as violent as Invincible. That show was like every episode's of blood. I'm glad that Adam Eve was her special was not that violent compared to an episode of Invincible. Creature Commandos got violent in the second half mostly. Blah 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 blah. Again, this is for kids. This is definitely for kids. Blah 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 blah. I think it's the same animation they did for Super Friends that came out in the 70s as well. You know, a tree thing, that's a talking tree is in Marvel, not DC. There we go. At least they did this with actual animation because there were no computers in the 70s. Computers, only NASA had computers. No one had a home computer till the 80s. Now everybody has a computer on their phone or their tablets or laptops or whatever. We're 13 minutes in. This is a Batman that says Great Scott, like in Back to the Future. I don't think that's Adam West and Burt Ward. I don't know if there's their voices. I was wrong in my podcast for Ernest. The actor that played Eddie was in other movies, but he was another character. He was not Eddie. That character never came back. So I correct myself. I was right, half right. He was not, that character was never in another movie, but the actor was. Daniel Butler was in. He was in Goes to Jail. He was the maitre d there for like a second, and he was the cop, the Kenny's father in Scared Stupid. So just to clear that up. Yes, a lot of these sound effects I grew up hearing. Hockey Pocky? Creepers. Doesn't she say Jeepers? I gotta give my dog a Scooby snack every day. Yep, trip. Whoa! My glasses! And they're like, Fred and Daphne actually like each other? Yeah, I knew that. They're a, he's a boy and she's a girl. What do you think is gonna happen? If they're both heterosexual, something is bound to connect. Hold on. About that, folks. Well, the chat is empty anyway. I guess they don't want to leave, bots don't want to leave comments on a kids movie. That's the voice of Papa Smurf. Yeah, because he did the voice of Papa Smurf, Don Messick. I miss him a lot, man. He also did the voice of Astro in the Jetsons. This is a penguin that had a monocle on his eye. Finesse. Why is he using a tongue twister? That's where it is our house. Yeah. Weirdest voice of the Joker I've heard. And I've heard a lot of weird accents. And I was the Joker at one Comic convention, not Comic Con. It was a Hero and Villain Fun Fest. That's a good laugh. Again, why is opening a door funny? This laugh track just, some of it makes no sense. Because when we were kids, we didn't care how cheap the animation of a cartoon was. That's a nitpick that we do when we're adults. Because adults want perfection in everything. Holy manhole? Yeah, there's not a. There's no holy manholes. Yeah, this is the cut Robin that said holy all the time in the show. In the 60s show. This is the Robin that wore a yellow. The red and yellow. Not the Robin that wore red and black or the Nightwing where he wears black and blue or, yeah. No, it's different. Batman didn't get dark again until the 80s. She hopes. Again, why is that funny? Yeah, these people will laugh at anything. Like, look, I'm fingering myself. Yeah. A bat. Yes, thank you, Captain Obvious. Yeah, just stand there. That's good. Yeah, they exist. They're flying rats and they cause COVID. Okay, that was funny. Why are you talking like this, Joker? Yeah, it's weird. He talks like he's from the 1940s, not the 70s. Yeah, this is the weirdest Joker voice I've ever heard, man. If you see this cartoon, yeah, prepare to see be like, this is not Mark Hamill, guys. Pengy Wengy. It says it's 82 minutes, but I don't think it's 82 minutes. I think it's about half the running time. Huh? What's he looking at? Yeah, he looks at the camera. Harley Quinn, no, we wouldn't see her till 1992 when the animated series came out. It's like, you're not scary. You look like a Charlie Brown ghost. Ghost go boo, not blah blah blah. Uh oh. These cartoons just make me laugh. They're ridiculous, but again, they have a fan base. Yes, dogs can swim. I saw a dog swimming in the lake today because they love swimming. Dogs need to cool off from the heat too, you know? These films are usually about Shaggy and Scooby because they're the main characters. Velma, Daphne, and Fred are usually side characters in some of them. Boom. I spotted the right touch. You heard that, folks. He's absent-minded. You get it? But at least he has an excuse. In Scooby-Doo Monster Moon Madness, it was awful. There's these long pauses, and then the some of the dialogue is so repetitive. I'm like, guys, you don't have to say you caught the alien 14 times. You can say it twice, not 14 times. Kids get it. Man, the batarangs are huge in this version. It's not a real bat. I know this isn't the most exciting movie, but I had to do it. It's a DC property. I'm gonna do more DC projects. Do podcasts for August and September before Superman comes out on Blu-ray because I'm gonna buy that movie. I must. That voice is just awkward. It's not them. Yes, Batman, I know. These shows were a product of their time. That's why there's not a lot of black people in these old cartoons. But you got to realize, Josh, these cartoons were made in the 60s and the 70s. Diversity wasn't the key component in cartoons back then. For Professor Flaky. Poker and Jingwin. There is no Poker and Jinkin. Yeah, he's just Papa Smurf's voice, but sounding like this, and he says things wrong because saying things wrong is funny. Holy egg beaters. Yes, I know, Josh, you're not a fan of this version of Batman. The 60s campy, lighter, cartoonish version of Batman. I get it. I grew up with it, so I was used to the corny jokes in the 60s show and the movie. I get it. It's an acquired taste, a very acquired taste. Because this is not the dark and brooding Batman that talks like this. No, this is completely different. He wears blue, not black and gray, and no. I'm sorry, that voice just kills me, man. They think all Batmans talk like they have throat cancer. No. If you see the 60s show, or the cartoons, or the animated series, or the two Tim Burton movies, he doesn't talk like that. You can have a deep voice and be Batman, but don't sound like this, It's ridiculous. I saw the way these two were looking at each other at San Diego Comic-Con. Hey, look, Fred Flintstone and Yogi Bear. Those are nice Easter eggs. And Santa Claus. Because, again, it's Christmas in July. The hope we were drinking for. And why are you looking at the camera, dude? Nobody knows you. There's Santa. Balloons. Again, wink, wink, wink. No, yeah, the Thanksgiving Day parade. No, you say things wrong. It's charming. Some people have that. They have a they have like they're dyslexic and they say words jumbled. They say things backwards. Plus, sometimes I say the wrong word. On the roof, it's roof, not roof. I thought he said roof. A walrus. What is he eating? Rubber? Those are not donuts. They're tires. Okay, that's funny. I love Don Messick's because the laugh track could be either hit or miss. 31 minutes in. It's a lake crab. Even Mr. Krabs doesn't talk this weird. He talks like you're this, we learn land numbers and all that, yeah. I love those voices on SpongeBob. They just crack me up, man. I'm getting more into DC Comics now that Superman made so much money. I wanted to keep going. It's gonna break even because it's almost at 500 million. It's definitely gonna break even. Oh, thanks. Keep going to see Superman, my guys. Support movies like that. Stop supporting Disney and their lazy remakes and sequels that no one asked for, like Freakier Friday. What? Why? The original from 2003. Well, not the original, but the 2003 version was good. It didn't need a sequel. Jamie Lee Curtis is older now. She's like a grandmother now. And Lindsay Lohan hasn't been in a theatrical release in over a decade that she starred in. Mm-hmm. And why more DC stuff? Because again, Marvel failed this year. I liked Ironheart, but a lot of people hated it. Cap was a mixed reaction, and Thunderbolts flopped. It's not much of a year for them, and Fantastic Four is getting reviews. It's not going to beat Superman. People say Superman is better. It's got more heart and entertainment value than that movie does. It can, because you're idiots. That's why Batman beats us every time, see? Gee, what happened to Fred's eyes? They're not kids. They're adults. Kids. They're like teenagers or young adults and they call them kids. Inner tubes and beach balls. A ball. See, what goes around comes around, DC villains. Yeah, no doubt. Another. I might as well shut off the chat. Yeah, I'll shut the chat off because nobody's here anyway. So the chat's off, so no bots. They're not chicken. Woof. I know. Root steps on the foof. Did you hear that? This dialogue with this guy is just so weird. Jenker and Pogwin. Again, saying things wrong is hilarious. No, it inflates him. My sign flute. Mm-hmm. Trust me, this whole movie's corny. No, yabba dabba doo. It's got to be the middle button. This cartoon is so crazy, man. Again, it was before my time, so. Whee! Missed. You pop Batman's balloon. No, this movie was not in theaters. It was on TV in the 70s. A Scooby film didn't make it to theaters until like I think the 2000s maybe. Yeah, live action. It was in 2002. But the CGI in that movie, ooh, it's rough. Like always. Get it? Scabby, Scabby, and Screw. He's he's dumb to kind animals. Yeah, this guy is absent-minded. But that was the first part. It was fun. There's still one more part. Now it's the second part. I could skip the opening for this. Skip the opening, so we don't have to sit through the opening again. Just skip this. Wait. Skip the second part. 1972, that's when it came out. This is the second part. It's a two-part TV movie. When this is over, yeah, it'll be over in about an hour and change. Yeah, the chat's off, so I don't have to read any comments this time. I could take this hat off for now. Scooby always runs like this, like he's flapping his wings. Uh-oh. Yep, again. At least the professor's not in this part, so. I can lie down a little bit. This will be over soon. Unlike the Dark Knight Rises, it took me hours to finish. Chum. A hooded Jedi. It's another old person, but this time a woman. This is Baker. Some people are scared of clowns. I'm not. The dogs sniff everything. Money. Also, there's no dollar signs on it. Again, they're not kids. Right, Batman? Scooby always sounds like that. He has a weird voice. See, and I'm wearing a Scooby-Doo shirt today, too, so... It fits! Mm-hmm. The Penguin and Joker are not in this one. Hooded Fiend. It's not the Scarecrow either, because he wasn't in the cartoons in the 70s. They didn't introduce the Scarecrow until the 90s cartoon. They don't eat in this one as much as the other Scooby films that Shaggy and Scooby are in. Jalopy? I know I'm playing Spider-Man at Comic-Con, but I still want to see more DC stuff though for the summer, and Marvel stuff that Sony did, like the Spider-Verse movies, things like that. Robin got him. No, Fred's the villain in another movie. The actor that played Fred in the Scooby films, the live action movies, he's a villain somewhere else. Creepers? Fred doesn't say creepers. That's not Mindy Cohen's voice. There was a different voice for Daphne and Velma back in the 70s. Blue Batman. At least he's not doing that voice. Bat milk and cookies. They're riding the mystery machine. They're going to the Batcave. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is trippy. Far out. Again, 70s. Scooby took your snack. Gotham City Amusement Park. Yeah, Penguin and Joker are not in this one. It's somebody else. Also, the Penguin and the Joker are in this one, but we're at the end. But they're barely in this one. It's the same voices from the last one. Well, the professor's not here. Not last year. Zing. A boy blunder. No, they're not. Ghouls. That's not scary. That was in the Rollerball remake. Pingy Wingy. Yeah, this is for kids, alright. We know who you are. They're still falling. Those clowns broke their fall. Cuckoo birds. See, Daphne, Fred, and Velma kind of get underused in this one. They're not kids. You're allergic to ghosts. There's nothing for ghosts to have that could make you allergic. See, dogs have to be convinced. Again, that's how confused people were last year when they saw Folly a Doof. No, I'm not seeing that. Not till after Comic Con because I don't want the movie to sour me. I'd rather see Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey and all that. Yeah, because that flopped, so it's not like it hurt me. Bubbling pools. He laughs for everything. It's not Velma Sand. Girls weren't girl bosses back then. Yeah. We're an hour and 3 minutes in. Okay. Darn-esque. A conveyor belt. They're messing with them. Me neither. Get it? Running gag. Gravity doesn't work like that. You don't stop in midair. Only in cartoons, man. Green eyes. No. This cartoon is funny, man. It's weird, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So they pulled him. Get it? Because dogs like to eat bones. He did the same laugh as Astro as well. But Astro was gray. He wasn't brown. Why are Daphne's glasses, I mean, Velma's glasses white? That must have been an anime era. Her glasses are black, not white. See, her glasses are black again, Velma. Yet in the last shot, it was white. See? What happened to the Joker's eyes? No, the Riddler's not in this one. You would have left some riddles. Bat radio. Batman has everything, doesn't he? They're not kids. They're just young people. They're not kids. They were kids in a pup named Scooby-Doo. They were kids. Here, they're adults. They're not kids. This is the last scene. The man. Again, they're not kids. bunny rabbit. That's not. That's cute. That's not scary. This was fun. I hadn't watched this in years. Yeah. Like now. Go get him. It's not the Riddler. He's not in this movie. Definitely, I know that for sure. Yep, let me on your hand. And then it fell. It's not a real dog. That's not Scooby's barking. He didn't do anything. Yeah. At least he apologized. A happy face. Be happy. I have to do a much shorter DC movie. My glasses, yep. am I? An elephant mask. He's pulling the trunk. It's a giraffe. That's not his line. That's Velma's line. Why isn't Batman wearing? He wasn't wearing gloves, and now that was a continuity error. See, I told you there's some animation mistakes, but I can't blame the animators again. They didn't have much of a budget. Now animated movies have $200 million budgets. How? Where did the money go? It's almost done. Ooh. Yeehaw. This is almost over. Penguin and Joker are kind of underused in this one. Her lips. Scooby-Doo! Bat snacks. Scooby-Doo. Well, that was fun, guys. Even though the chat was completely off. That's it. And that was it. Scooby-Doo meets Batman. That was a lot of fun. So certainly not shorter than the Nolan movies because it's animated and it's for kids. But thanks for watching. The few of you that did. Tomorrow I'll be doing Dick Tracy and then Sunday Tron Legacy. So shorter films than Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. So see you in the next one. Acknowledge me and take care and don't get too much sun. Later.